Good morning and welcome to the We Day Kentucky inaugural press conference. My name is Forrest Clevenger. I'm a student at DuPont Manual High School, and today is going to be in partnership with the Mayor's Office, Metro United Way, and the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts. We are incredibly excited to be here. As a student, I know that never have student voices been more empowered than they are today, and we intend to use them for what matters. And for We Day, that's compassion. So I'm going to hand it off to Ms. Heather Bell, the Senior Vice President with the Kentucky Center for the Arts.
Good morning, thank you. As mentioned, my name's Heather Weston Bell. I'm Senior Vice President here at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts, and we're thrilled to have the opportunity to talk about We Day today and to talk about the Give-A-Day and Week of Service. Give-A-Day is an act of compassion that defines our great city. And here at the center, as it is with so many individuals, businesses in our community, families, it's a tradition. And every year, our employees look forward to getting out into the community as they do throughout the year, but particularly that one week, and to give back. And we've been known to work alongside Brown Forman, building Habitat for Humanity houses, working at St. Joseph Children's Home. But for the last 5 years, every year, we are so proud to serve as the official home to We Day Kentucky community. It's Wendy and Chris Sergio that brought this international We Day movement right here to our local community here in Louisville, but to our entire Commonwealth. And so to have this opportunity is incredible. Chris and Wendy founded this 6 years ago here locally. And after just 1 year, they outgrew the space. And so they walked through the doors of the Kentucky Center to start a conversation about what partnership might look like. They knew that we had adopted a charter for compassion here. They knew our mission in creating experiences and leading and creating arts experiences for our community. And from that day, we began to envision what partnership might look like, and that continues today to grow even further. So we are proud with We Day that we will celebrate youth across our community and those coming from across the Commonwealth for the role they're playing in providing service and impact in their local community and giving back across the world. Through We Day, an incredible stage is set right here at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts with artists, performers, of course, but with speakers, with youth and community partners, all in the name of service. And of course, there is no better spokesperson for our compassionate city and for this movement of We Day and our active service and Give-A-Day than its founder, our mayor, Greg Fischer.
Thank you, Heather, and good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. You can really feel the excitement building up, not just for the Kentucky Derby, but especially for this, what I see is the kickoff for the whole Kentucky Derby Festival week, and that is the Give-A-Day Week of Service. And the original concept was, we race all kind of things during the Derby Festival. Horses, waitresses, waiters, etc. Why not turtles at the Little Sisters of the Poor? Why not have a race for compassion? And that's why we put the Give-A-Day Week right in front of the Kentucky Derby Festival. And we've had 45 cities visit us from around the world to benchmark what we're doing around compassion. Several have created their own Give-A-Day Week of Service, so it's working. So imagine that if the world's headlines were talking about all the cities in this race for compassion and celebrating the good deeds that we all do together. So it's a great progress that we're making here. So Give-A-Day started in 2011 as a one-day call to serve others, and it has become a beautiful, beautiful week of service for our city. And we extended a little bit. It's 8 days, actually. Each year, we have proclaimed that we're the most compassionate city on the world. And I keep waiting for some city to say, no, we are. Now, Seattle tried to the first couple of years, but we buried them with acts of compassion. I know it sounds very aggressive when you're saying compassion, but we want people to kind of see who can do the best in this area, and we're always trying to help people beat us every year. Last year, we had 180,000 volunteers in acts of compassion, so naturally that was a new world record for compassion. And I am so grateful to our student leaders and the Sergios who have created and become partners with this global We Day movement and said, we should put all this together. We Day, Give-A-Day, kind of put an exclamation point on the fact that everybody is participating and helping each other during this great week of service. Think about this. Chris and Wendy, Chris, have grown We Day Kentucky to now over 300 schools are participating with We Day learning projects representing hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours in our community and throughout our state. So this was kind of the original hope with this city value of compassion, that it would ignite a brush fire of compassion through other cities, through other states, and We Day has shown how we can do this throughout our Commonwealth as well. So it's really inspiring when you're here next week and you see people loading in from all over the state, really fired up about service and about compassion as well. I've got to say, when I talk to our student leaders about We Day, about Give a Day, it gives me great hope for our future. We've seen tremendous student activism, especially in the last 6 to 8 weeks in our country. Wonderful ability to organize, articulate, mobilize, and inspire not just their fellow students, but people all over the world of all ages. So that gives me great hope. And here we see that coming to life, obviously, on full bore during We Day as well. So Forrest, Megan, Spencer over there, I want to thank you all for the great work that you're doing. They are members of what we call our Mayor's Youth Board to consult with us and give us ideas on how we can expand our city activities around compassion. And they're really great models for showing how you can be a wonderful citizen, and by that I mean doing something for your city and for which you expect nothing in return, other than you get to live in this great place and contribute to make it even greater. So that's what selfless people do. That's what great citizens do as well. So I want to thank you guys. Now, what I would like to do is challenge everybody, compassionately challenge everybody in our city. Next week, we're going to be having the We Walk for Compassion on April 17th. We're going to start right here at the Kentucky Center. So is it start at noon? At 12:45 p.m. So if you guys could put that all on your scrollers next week, it would be great. 12:45 p.m., April 17th, right here at the Kentucky Center, is the We Walk for Compassion. So that's when all of the attendees of We Day will be walking just a couple blocks here around downtown to say, look what compassion can do. But we invite everybody, not just students, okay? So for our downtown workers, people living anywhere in the region, please come down and participate in this great March for Compassion. Our goal this year is to have 10,000 participants, okay? That would be a huge increase over last year, but with the social media skills that these young leaders have and that we all have, I think we can get out at least 10,000 participants in this March, and that will all then count for our goal this year for Give a Day, which is 200,000 volunteers in acts of compassion. I also want to suggest that anyone who wants to find a project to participate in during Give a Day week, which is April 14th to 22nd, can go to mygiveaday.com and find an event that's right for you. We've got a very large one coming up this Saturday. That's the annual Brightside Cleanup. So if you don't know what to do or where to do it, just participate in the Brightside event that's going on in neighborhoods all throughout our city. So let's continue to be this great model for the rest of the world on what a city can do when we embrace this notion of compassion. It's a work in progress. We're not perfect every day, but boy, we give it our all every day. I can guarantee you that. Now, speaking of giving it her all, I'd like to now turn this over to Wendy Sergio, who is just an all-star citizen here in Louisville, does incredible work for us. She's also a Bell Award winner, and she is the co-founder of We Day Kentucky. Please welcome Wendy Sergio.
Thank you so much, Mayor Fischer. I really appreciate your very kind remarks. I just want to start out by saying that history shows that most significant social changes have been brought about by the younger generations. This past week was our spring break, and as I watched my 15-year-old son and his buddy sitting on the sofa with a big bag of Skittles, a six-pack of Dr. Pepper, powering through 6 straight episodes of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings as their spring break goal, I really scratched my head a little bit wondering about that. But this is Generation Z, this young generation of leaders. Megan, Spencer, Forrest, you're all part of that. We call them Generation We, and they are the most connected. They are the most powerful, and they have the most potential to bring about the change that they want to see in the world. They've grown up in conditions with a recession, armed conflicts, school shootings. They know things have to change. And if we as adults will listen to their voices, hear them, and empower them, they will make those changes. Craig Kielberger, at age 12, learned about a great injustice, a 12-year-old boy who was murdered for speaking out against child labor. He was determined that he was going to make a difference. He asked his peers to help him, and he asked the adults in his life to help him, and they listened to his voice, and they did empower and support him, and he now has founded what 20 years later is the world's largest youth empowerment organization, because he was listened to and he was supported. And that's our role as adults. He now created We Day, which we 6 years ago brought here as We Day Kentucky for our youth. You don't buy a ticket to We Day, you earn it through service, one local and one global. And in these 6 years, I had to write a list because there are so many different projects. Students have held barbecues to raise money to build a school in Haiti. They've been doing food drives. They have designed and sold T-shirts to raise money for health clinics overseas. Donated clean socks to the homeless, built beds for children who don't have one, bake sales, car washes to send school supplies overseas. The list goes on. They've insulated houses against the cold in the winter. They've cleaned parks. They've built homes in Appalachia. But they're speaking out, and they're using their voices to affect change, and that is so important. If anybody gets up early enough, 7 o'clock on Saturday mornings, the past 3 weeks, you will have seen Forrest and 5 other students, and you'll see Megan and Spencer this weekend, talking about things that matter. And one of those things is We Day, along with the Compassion Walk and the call to action. So in 6 years, schools in 1 county have grown to schools in 83 counties in Kentucky and in southern Indiana. You're going to hear a lot of youth voices speaking out on April 17th for things they believe in. They will be on stage along with some incredible speakers and performers. Craig Kielberger, the co-founder of We, who I just spoke about, is going to be here speaking as well. And all of this is really possible because we are We Day Community Kentucky. We have a community of over 100 amazing partners who make this possible through giving what they can, whether it's in kind, their own time and talent, or treasure. And we really cannot say enough how appreciative we are for that. I mean, Heather, you and the Kentucky Center, as one of our incredible partners in our home here, how can we thank you enough? So how can you get involved? Very briefly, we have a call to action. We're collecting personal care items for youth in need around Jefferson County. Deodorant, shampoo, soap, feminine hygiene products, these can be dropped off at Heine Brothers, Highland Cleaners, Republic Bank through Friday, or here at the center on the 17th. We Walk for Compassion. Anybody can come out and join. I won't try and repeat what the mayor just said because he did a beautiful job. 10,000 people, it's going to be dry. Matt will tell us about that in a minute. And then please sign up for Give-A-Day for some projects, mygiveaday.com. It's an amazing opportunity to meet some new people in the community and really give back and do fabulous things. So that is what I would ask. And now I would like to just say one of our favorite family quotes: unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And that was Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel, and that really speaks volumes about the woman that I would like to introduce next, one of our amazing partners, Teresa Reno Weber, CEO and President of Metro United Way.
Thank you so much, Wendy, and I love being brought up with a Dr. Seuss quote. At Metro United Way, we have been connecting people and resources to the challenges in our community for over 100 years. And it is why we were one of the first to step up to help support the mayor's Give-A-Day Week of Service when it first started. For the last 6 or 7 years now, we have been the engine behind that week of service, helping populate the mayorsgiveaday.com website with hundreds of different projects from across nonprofits in our community that need support from individuals like yourselves to come out and give of your time, give of your talent, give of your treasure to make sure that they can do what they do best, which is meet the needs of individuals in our community who are struggling to be able to thrive and live to their full potential. And so in this coming week, we were so honored and excited to create a new partnership with We Day to be able to take our reach and our network and the individuals who continue to step up to support the nonprofits that we partner with all year long, to be able to expand our message and show our support for the youth in our community and across our Commonwealth who are taking on the challenges of today and making sure that their voices and the voices of many are as loud as any others out there, and that they're not just speaking, but they're acting. And so next week is really your opportunity to shine and to put your compassion into action. And we want to be there to help you do that, not only next week, but all year long. So whenever you are looking for an opportunity to give back to this community, to make a difference, when you feel frustrated by the things you see on TV, please turn to Metro United Way. We want to be there to be able to help you, help others in our community. We're really excited about what's going to happen next week. We will be out there walking for the We Day Walk, and we hope all of you will be out there as well to show the youth and our community what compassion really looks like. And now, to get a little bit of a preview of what the weather will be like and entice you to come out, Matt Milosevic from WLKY, one of our phenomenal partners, is going to come on up to the mic.
Thank you, Teresa, Chris, Wendy, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for including me in the Give a Day week and also in for We Day. I'm a meteorologist for WLKY Monday through Friday, but next week I get to be a We Day ambassador, and I'm very proud of being a part of that. Thank you, Chris. But WLKY has partnered over the past several years with We Day and the Give a Day campaign, and as Wendy mentioned, the call to action, what we are looking to do this year is to gather 100,000, let's go over 100,000 items, personal care items that are going to be put into the boxes that are below this podium here. They're going to be distributed by Jefferson County Public Schools, Family Resource Centers, and also the Kentucky Refugee Ministries to families and folks who are in need of these personal care items, the things that perhaps maybe we take for granted as we're getting ready in the morning or before going to bed at night, can give families who need these the dignity of starting out on the same footing as everyone else with their day, and to give them the opportunity to build their families, go to school, get a job, and to continue to thrive in our community. It's just one of the many service projects that are going on through We Day and the Give a Day week. But that is our part. You can drop it off at the WLKY studios. Mention Highland Cleaners, Republic Bank, also Heine Brothers. I believe, Debbie, I'll be at Highland Cleaners at the noon broadcast on WLKY asking for donations. And if you walk up and give it to me if you see me on the street, I'll take it where it needs to go. But my most nervous and anxious moment of the year is in this building for 2 minutes for We Day, because you have 4,000 empowered young people who have dedicated themselves to service of our community, and they're all looking back at you, and you really got to come with it. But it is a great event leading up to the Walk for Compassion. And as far as the weather forecast for Tuesday, Wendy and Chris, she said, just give me dry weather. I think we can do that. And fingers crossed for 61 degrees. But I just want to end, if you think about what has been said, the words that have been described so far today, we have compassion, we have hope, and we have service. And if we can define our community by those three words and continue to pass that down, not only for us, but for the students who are taking who are taking strides in doing this service for our community, and then carrying that on to generations down the line, then we are definitely living Generation We, and I think that would be a fantastic, not only city and community to be in, but nation and world to be a part of. With that said, I want to turn it back to some of the young people who are going to make me nervous in a couple of days. Let's turn it over to Megan and Spencer.
Thank you. So I'm Spencer Schumacher. This is Megan Sharma, and we're both seniors in high school. We're members of the Mayor's Youth Board for Service, and we're also steering committee members for We Day Community Kentucky.
So I attended my first We Day as an overzealous middle schooler. I was filled to the brim with passion and a desire to be of change in my community without the knowledge of how, or really whether or not I could. I walked into We Day with the same view that many of my peers had, that we were not of an age where to lead, but rather one to learn. that we not yet crossed the threshold of age where our voices mattered. We Day taught me that my youth wasn't a detriment, but rather an advantage. That youth represented a principle beyond age, rather a value of innovation, compassion, creativity, and a desire to be of change in our community. My age is something that empowers me to be a strong voice for what I believe in. Thanks to We Day, myself and so many other of my fellow peers throughout our state are empowered to make the change that we wish to.
And Megan's story is exactly what We Day Kentucky is all about, empowering students and youth to know that they can make changes in their community and that they're not the leaders of tomorrow, they're the leaders of now. And across the country right now, we're seeing communities come together to empower their youth and make them feel cherished in their communities. And that's exactly what you can do by showing up on April 17th for the We Walk for Compassion. By showing up, you are saying that you cherish the voice of youth in our community and you acknowledge that they have a voice.
So We Walk for Compassion will be held after the programming for We Day Kentucky on April 17th from 12:45 to 1:30. We're standing there to show our voices and that as a unified front, so we hope to see all of you there. Thank you.